We get detached from our bodies. We're in our minds. Something
Mhm.
um, triggers us and we get disassociated. I know I did a lot. And so, being embodied, we have all of us present. We have our senses, our intuition, our instinctual knowledge, our rational mind all on board it's called our body wisdom. What it allows us to do is this sense of freedom and movement and aliveness.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm excited to introduce to you a remarkable guest who is a certified facilitator of interplay and initiated priestess in the Divine Feminine Mystery School of the Priestess Present Temple, founder of Dance Tribe KC, a transformational workshop facilitator, an energy worker, a spiritual coach, and a feng shui consultant. She is also the founder of Wild Nature's Woman Circle and facilitates his monthly new moon circles. Joining us today is Devi Wetterer, the founder of Dance Tribe KC, Midwest Interplay, a vibrant community that embodies fun, play, dance, heart-opening embodiment movements, and somatic healing. Welcome, Devi. Thank you for being here today.
Oh, Lisa, I'm honored and so glad to be here with you today and to share what I know and share gifts. So thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Yes. So, Devi, what is interplay?
That is a very good question. So interplay, let me give you a little bit of background. There was two dancers, professional dancers, and Cynthia Winton Henry and Phil Porter. It's going to be 35 years old, believe it or not. I know it's this year, it turns 35. And they were doing improvisational dance and they noticed the benefits, like their mood shifted. They noticed they were moving differently, creating more alive and peace. So they developed these forms and practices and ideas around their experiences. And so interplay is improvisational play. And there's these they call them forms, but there's very simple instructions to elicit movement, voice, and storytelling. And for some, it can feel like, oh, I can't do that. But we're all storytellers. We all love to move and we all have our voice. And I believe what interplay offers us is an opportunity to be authentically ourselves and to express express ourselves authentically in a very safe container. So it's done in a group. Sometimes there's solo movement or voice or storytelling. Sometimes there's partnering. So it's very much a very safe, very non-judgmental container where people get to play like a little kid on the playground. When they go out on the playground, you don't think, well, what am I going to do today? You're just like, you're just going to make up who you are and invite your friends and just be spontaneous. It's kind of the same thing in interplay. It's inviting people on an adult playground that they get to express themselves and get to connect with each other.
That leads me to, why is it important?
Oh gosh. So I feel that basic humanity is that we feel that we don't belong, right? And we want to be seen. We want to be valued. We want to be acknowledged and we want to be witnessed. And through culture and through our upbringing and through identifications that are laid on ourselves or shame, we stop moving. We stop having our voice. We stop telling stories. And I know for me, when I first found interplay, it was like I was in this, I could create my own virtual world. And how did I want to be in that world? What did I want to experience? So what it gave me, because I really didn't want to talk to people. I thought if I say something, people are going to think I'm really messed up. Right. So I was quiet and shy. But I also loved to dance and to move. Right. So what it gave me is the freedom to move my body, to express myself. And over time, incrementally. So it's very incremental. It's not like you dive in the deep end of the swimming. It's like you start at the baby pool and you work in. But it gave me the ability to be seen, acknowledged, and witnessed and valued. and to be noticed and witnessed. And I think we're all looking for community. I think we're looking for our tribe, right?
Okay.
Looking for a place where we belong. And I think we get me included, we get so serious in life.
Right.
Get her done. What do we got to do?
That's me.
Stop her list. What's next? Okay.
That's absolutely me. That kind of goes into the next question that you founded Dance Tribe KC. Can you tell me more about that community and that experience?
Yes, I can. So I want to put this all kind of under an umbrella of what I call the sacred arts. And it's about getting in our bodies, embodied movement. We get detached from our bodies, we're in our minds, something triggers us and we get disassociated. I know I did a lot. And, being embodied, we have all of us present. We have our senses, our intuition, our instinctual knowledge, our rational mind all on board. It's called our body wisdom. And so under the sacred arts, which can be dance, art, any kind of movement, ceremony, circle, we get out of our head. We're not in our heads anymore. We're in our bodies. And what it allows us to do is this sense of freedom and movement and aliveness. And we get to sense and feel our body. Like, what does my body want to do? How do I want to move? So it's not just, these steps of dance. So Dance Tribe is really it's a static dance. It's a form of what I call the 5 rhythms, which we're not 5 rhythm teachers, but it's this wave, in life that starts out kind of still and then it moves up into chaos, we get triggered and we start spinning and looping. And then things begin to order and then we go back into the stillness. Dance Tribe it's a static dance. It's moving the way that we feel our bodies want to move. It's not in the mind. So, and we free our essence up. We free our creative ability up. So there's different facilitators each week.
Okay.
So each of them have a little bit different flavor. There's one who's very joyful and kind of, I don't know. She's like a little fairy, but you just get lost in it. And, there's another one who does rhythm and roots, and it's more of a tribal dance experience. And then there's another woman. So her name is Elise Walters. Jenna Bodenstein does the rhythm and roots. And then Haley Bow she's the one that's joyful and playful. And the last one we had with Elise we had a cacao ceremony dance, and then we had breath work to integrate.
Okay.
I feel dance or any kind of movement or the arts helps us to opens up our whole creativity, and we think differently. There's actually proven research on what dance does. And if you think about it, if you're doing the same thing all day, there's not a lot of expression of movement, right? Like robots can only do a certain thing. So it affects our minds, right? And to open up our bodies and to free it to move in any and all directions actually opens up neural pathways. New neural pathways, and you actually begin to be more creative and more expressive. And I believe it really helps us to shed. We were talking about, you came to one of the dances, but it helps us our bodies take on so much from the week, from people, from ads, from right? So without doing anything other than moving and joy, it releases all of that. We release. And then it opens up I believe it opens up our essence, because there's nothing in the body container. It's free and it's clear, and you're able to be in your essence and live from that place.
Yes, it reminded me of being a kid again when I went to one of your sessions and I started dancing. And for me, I'm very structured. I have a very demanding, stressful job, and I sit in front of the computer all day. And then when I went to your dance event, it was like a little bit at first. I moved and I was like, okay, this feels weird. And all of a sudden you're like, just go have fun and play. And then it became very releasing and healing and fun. And then I was just dancing on my own with people and then back on my own. So it was very liberating when I went to your dance session.
And when you
Yes.
start with interplay or with dance, you begin to, it's a group body that moves,
Mm-hmm.
and you really get to know each other without knowing each other, and
Mm-hmm.
your connections. And it's these easy connections and playful connections. You
Because there's a lot of people that come to these dance tribe or dance events, what are some kind of the do's and don'ts when you're doing interplay? And are there any rules to that?
we always say there's no rules other than taking care of your own body.
Okay.
So if you're tired or if you have a hurt elbow, to let somebody know there are no rules and
Okay.
you get to make it up. What I
Well,
notice, and then I can give you a little bit about interplay. So
okay.
it's called a hand dance. And so we may start out, move your hand in a smooth and easy way.
Okay,
And
I'll do that with you.
move your hand smooth and fast. So it's kind of an oxymoron, right? Smooth,
Yeah.
smooth, fast, right?
Mhm.
And then it makes you have to even do it. And then move your jerky, jerky,
Jerky?
jerky,
Okay.
jerky. For me, I feel release
Ah,
jerky. And then jerky and slow. It's just kind of another oxymoron. We don't think of jerky and slow. And then to make a shape
oh.
and make
Okay.
another shape. And then faster than mine can think, you make up shapes. So then if we had music, so then we're going to just combine. So it's just combine smooth and fast and jerky and slow and making shapes. So we're just going to do that.
And you can use two hands, one hand, whatever you want.
One hand in. There's really no rules. We just say it's in the same arena as what we're asking, but it doesn't have to be exactly the same, which is nice instead of this program dance. So for me, I'm feeling more at ease.
Mm.
And if you notice anything, and then this is just really simple. We can be silly and playful and
I know for me, because I'm left-handed and this is my left hand, I get a lot of tightness and arthritis in my wrist. And so with this movement, it's actually releasing that pain in there and it's making me think about it. And it's really nice because I'm actually moving my wrist in a different way versus sitting in front of the computer where it's tight and I'm typing. So this is, in a way, I feel like it's a releasing, healing movement.
you can even do it's where it's almost like prayer.
Mm,
How many times do we slow down?
right.
And when we move, it affects our heart, mind, body. So it helps. I feel more relaxed.
Yes, this is very relaxing, especially going slow and
So we
doing.
have we have these mirror neurons or this kinesthetic identification. So if I feel like I'm going to fall, then you feel like you're going to fall too, right? And then you feel uptight. So
Mm,
just so our bodies have this kinesthetic identification is what we call it. So different movements will elicit different aspects. So this is just a very simple form.
mm,
There are So I'm going to ask you, what do you notice now?
I feel energized, but relaxed at the same time. Like I feel I have a lot of heat and energy, but I'm also relaxed.
Yeah, there's other forms like walk, stop, and run, which gets grouped together. It's a way it's elicited in the very beginning of a session to help people get used to the room, to get
Mm.
used to other, and we walk backwards, we walk weird ways, and we bump into each other and we say thank you. So it's just amazing how the people who don't know each other in the beginning begin to play and to relate and to interact and have
Mhm.
fun. And then one person does one thing and the other person will do it. And then it just becomes this whole community dance. And then it just
Mhm.
keeps on going. It sounds very simplistic, but it's simplistic for a reason because people, like I say, and have their own body grooves or mind grooves around being seen. I think we're all afraid of being seen.
Have you seen any participants or any success stories or healing stories out of this Dance Tribe KC? Or just in general when you're facilitating this interplay session?
I know that there was a gentleman who would walk around the perimeter of the room during the walk, strap, run, or some of the community exercise. He was very shy,
Oh.
very reserved. He had a challenging time talking and would keep his eyes down.
Mm.
So through, it was probably several months, I would think. But he actually got up and did what we call a big body story. So he actually got in front of our group and actually told what we call a big body story is it's sharing something. It's all improv. So you just share something
Mm.
and then there's movement to it as well. And I can't remember exactly what his story was, but to see him standing there in front of us and feeling
Mhm.
confident and assured to
Oh.
make something up in the moment brought tears to my eyes.
What advice would you give to someone that's interested in interplay or joining Dance Tribe KC and it's their first time ever? Because when I went to the first session, it was also my first time, but I didn't know what to expect. So, what kind of advice would you give them when they go for the first time?
I have no preconceived ideas of what it should look like, how it should be,
Um,
what, let go and just allow yourself to be there. Both of them are in a very safe container. And we start out very slow. So in Dance Tribe,
mhm.
we start out in a circle
Okay.
that everybody. So we get the group body together and sitting with each other and talk about the dance and we talk about anything that they may need to know. And some of the time, if they're depending on the crowd size, we'll ask them like, what is if they would like to speak their intention or
Okay.
maybe something that's really simple. And I'll, I'll do it with you. It makes it
Okay.
is we say our name and a gesture. So, and this helps people to get out of them, get out of the tentativeness, I think. So my name is Devi. And we have people repeat your name and
Oh.
your gesture.
Oh.
Do you have a name? And so say your name and what is your gesture?
My name is Lisa. My gestures,
So Lisa. So
that's fun.
yeah. So we always have this place. It's a safe container of non-judgment. And we tell people you can steal moves. So you don't have to, it's always good to steal moves. It's not always good to steal moves. Encourage it. In Dance Tribe, I tell people just to start out slowly. I typically close my eyes so that I'm more inward and I'm not distracted by other people. I know that and we tell people if you need to sit, there's mats. So we tell people if you need to sit on the side, you need to relax or may not, or you need to rest your body to rest on the side. But just take it slowly. I think we move at the speed of our mind. We don't move at the speed of our bodies. So and we encourage them to move at the speed of their body and to listen and to move however their body wants to move. And I think once they get in there and see everybody else being silly or, whatever movement they're doing and people expressing themselves, uh, and it's just easy for them to just do the same.
Does interplay
Experience at all. I mean, it's the interplay and, dance tribe. You don't need, the practice of home before you come.
Okay. So you're saying it's for all levels? Is it also for all mobility, fitness levels, meaning all ages?
Good question.
Do you need to have some kind of fitness or mobility levels in order to do interplay?
So that's a good question. So interplay is all inclusive. It's all gender inclusive, all abilities, all mobilities. You can do interplay in a chair if you'd like. We've had people in a wheelchair.
Okay.
So we encourage any and all abilities can join in, and everyone is welcome. We can say all of you is welcome.
And interplay helps individuals connect to their mind, body, and spirit. So when you're doing that, is that what you're asking people to connect with? Or you ask them to play and they eventually start to connect with their mind and their soul and their spirit and they start to express themselves?
Good question. So we call it sneaky deep play.
Oh.
And because we're not in our mind and we're in our bodies and we're creating in the moment and improvising, it's a natural byproduct. So you may come in tired or scrunchily, whatever, from the day. And when you leave, people have said they have connected to their divine essence. They feel like they're in a Zen place. So the heart, normally we guard our hearts, especially people, strangers, or that we may not know. So our heart is open and we're relaxed and we're connected with each other. And people don't want to leave. Seriously, they don't want to leave. So if we have something on the floor, if we do a hand dance on the floor with heads together.
Okay.
It's at the end, but I mean, here the floor is like holding our bodies, our holding, it's like a foundation, and you can't see, but there's different movements and there's silliness and noises and all kinds of things that are made. But by the end, there's this sense, you can feel this sense of peace and connection and softness and stillness. And it's such the yummiest thing that I've ever experienced. So truthfully. And there's nothing that's the best part. You don't have to effort at feeling better or connecting.
Deva, you're a multi-passionate, multi-talented individual. Is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience on what you do and what you offer?
One thing, can I say something else about dance?
Yeah.
I feel like dance is very ancient. So in indigenous cultures, they utilize dance in community as medicine, as getting messages from the beyond. And even when someone was sick in the community, in the African communities, they would actually honor this person because they felt like this person what was ever going on with this person was indicative of the whole tribe. So they would celebrate this person and dance to get the message that they were to receive and honor this person. So in dance, we connected this very ancient practice. It's when I don't dance on Sundays. So it's another way of shedding and releasing because we hold on to so much. But there's also, I call it a body prayer. And so it's an intention. So there's times, actually recently, I connected with my ancestors, and we also connect with our ancestors. But my mother, and she's not in this plane anymore, but I still was holding some resentments against my mother. And I actually danced her
Oh, wow.
during dance for the very first time. And I feel like that was a very healing practice that brought together my mother and I in a way that wouldn't have been brought together.
Mhm.
The dance tribe is very intentional, but it can be just joyful and just have a good time. You don't have to have intention.
Okay.
Also, but anyway, go ahead.
So that's a great point that you just brought up because I come from a background where I grew up doing traditional Thai dancing, so it's very structured, but also at the same time, it's more of an ancient ritual dancing method. So these dance techniques and styles were passed on many, many generations and years, and they're designed to do blessings, ceremonies, prayers. And so whenever I do the dance move, I always have to pray before I start, then do the performance. And then when I'm done, I do another prayer. So there's multiple prayers. And then also when I'm dancing, it's a very focused mental type of performance. And also until recently, I came back from Thailand. I was very driven and connected to learn a Naka blessing dance, which is a dragon blessing dance. And so I went to learn online on Zoom with a couple of instructors in Berkeley, California. And then I flew out, visited them, and then perform and dance with them in person. And so now I have this dance that I can now perform when I feel like it. When I do go to Thailand, I plan on doing, I want to perform that dance in the location near the Mekong River to my spirit guide, the Naka dragon. So dance is very important to me, but I just don't do it often enough. I do it at home, but it's different not doing it with a community or a tribe.
What difference do you notice?
The difference is when I do it alone, it's just alone. But when I do it with a group or a place, it feels like I'm sharing my story, sharing my gifts, sharing my culture with people. And so when I do dance performance, it's a way for me to express and share who I am.
I feel like a pride and
Yeah.
a honoring.
Yeah.
You were sharing that. Thank
So that was beautiful how you talked about interplay where it's free, fun, flowing, and then you moved into another section of dance where it's a ritual, it's ancestry, it's a healing, and it's connection to spirit, and also the fact that it was a healing process for you when you did that specific dance, clearing your mother and healing your mother.
Yeah. So that's pretty special. I also did with my dad.
Oh,
I just kind of felt led. I think when any time that we're in the moment and we're listening within, then then you can sense, it may be like with this dance with my mom and my dad. But it was, yes, the arts are very healing.
mhm. Now, in your new moon circle, do you also add an element of interplay and dance in it?
There is elements of dance. I do use this their name and gesture. I really like that one because I think it really people up. On the new moon circles, or it's another form of sacred arts, and just like with your ritual, and I'm in a divine feminine mystery school. It's called
Mhm.
the Human Mystery School, and it's the Priestess Presence Temple. So I've been doing that for the last 4 years.
Is there another technique or moments you wanted to share?
Each of the new moon, or whether dance or with interplay, with me, I think it's really honoring who we are. Like I have it's called a muse archetype, which is this movement, creative dance, art. It's also types in the new moon, in any divine feminine mystery school with the 13 moons of the year, right?
Mhm.
So there's different archetypes that are in all cultures and in all. Joseph Campbell talked about it, and it's subconscious. We're able to tap into these archetypes to embody them to assist us in whatever we may be endeavoring in.
Mhm.
We also have a bent towards a certain archetype. So there's
Okay.
always the divine mother, there's the muse, the weaver, dreamer. It's also about writing and dance and music and song. There's the wise woman. I mean, there's many things that are very intertwined cultures. But what I think all of the sacred arts do is to get us in touch with what is our natural bent, what is our natural internal expression in the world, per se. So mine is very musy, very playful, and very spontaneous. So those are the things that I thought. I think sometimes our gifts aren't always because we didn't have to really work at them, right? So we think that they're not, you know, gifts. We think we have to go to school, we have to do all this stuff. That's something that's innate or born within us. So it encourages us to be more of who we are, more authentic to who we are, and a more expression of who we are. The New Moon Circle, the Divine Feminine Mystery School, it's really all the basics that we're all getting down to is really really an opportunity to, there's a sense of reflection for different archetypes. So the wise woman would be about self-doubt. Like, what is it that's holding you back? That you can't be fully expressed about who you are. So there's more to it than that. Each archetype has a shadow aspect as well as a quality. So the shadow aspect of the wise woman, which is this new moon, is about self-doubt and distraction, and qualities are instinctual wisdom, our body wisdom, our heart knowing. And it helps us to align with that. And there's reflect part of it. And we also go on a journey to the wise woman. And when we listen in, we drop down and listen into our, what I call your womb space or your belly. Our soul speaks to us in symbols and geometry and colors and sounds and words. And when we listen and drop down deeply, our soul language arises if we're patient enough to give us a symbol that would assist us in our journey, or that would say this self-doubt. So when we commune with something like in nature, like we just walk by, but then if we really look at a flower or we really look at the butterfly and be with the butterfly, there's something that happens in communication. On the journey, when we receive something from our, in our belly or space that arises, this, what we receive as we deal with it, assists us altering what we may be experience or maybe triggering us. And then it can alchemize or shift to another state. So it empowers us to look at our, for self-reflection, but it empowers us with, on this journey, to embody this aspect of ourselves, to embody it, to utilize it when we need it in the world, or when we can call it up for something in our lives.
So Debbie, is there another technique that you want to share with us before we close out the call?
Another technique.
Another fun one. That's easy to do.
Fun one. Ooh. All right. So it's called babbling. You know, like you watch, so I mean, a lot of it's really interesting because a lot of interplay is really what developmentally what children do. You know, like we play side by side, which is kind of soothing. You know, and with kids we play side by side. Well, and then babies also babble, right?
Like babble, like
Babble,
making nonsense talk.
right? So, well, would you like to do some babbling with me?
Yes.
So, so I am just going to, let's see, I'm just going to tell you about, what do I want to talk? Well, let's just start babbling. Bushy kind of, but try not to do this. She not kind of, I can eat.
That's exactly what I see my nephew does. He'll sit and he'll play video games and then he'll just and then he'll like do all sorts of hand movements, but it's so cute and fun.
Yes, and it's just so lighthearted.
Mhm.
What else do we do? There's battling. Sometimes we tell people a made up word. We have people, I'll tell people all about it. So you make up a word and I will tell you all about that made up word.
Oh my gosh, I'm
So
so
make up a
structured that
word.
not creative. Let me made a word.
Tell me a made up word. Give me a made up word.
Musha.
Okay, so what is musha? Musha is something that comes out of the ground, and it's kind of surprising. Sometimes it comes in gushes, and sometimes it'll just trickle. And then sometimes when you're just walking across the lawn, sometimes you get a musha, and then it's like, woo! But it's all over the place, and especially over, I think they must have did it in ancient times, and they left these little springs so that we could actually get a little wash at some point. But you got to be careful about the mooshes because they'll get you when you least expect it, especially if you're going out on a date and you'll get all drenched in woosha.
Yeah.
So it's just an interesting thing about it is that people think it's like, well, I don't know what I'm going to say about that word. And you would be amazed at the stories that come out of the people that think they don't have anything to say. And it just comes out.
Okay. Well, Debbie, thank you so much for sharing your energy, your playfulness, your expertise about interplay. That was a lot of fun. I'm going to link all your information down below in the description section so that people can know where to find you, how to attend the Dance Tribe KC, and learn more about the New Moon Circle and just learn more about you as well. So thank you so much.
Thanks so much. So Dance Tribe is every Sunday, 11 till 1. Every new moon is the New Moon Circle. And then Tuesday, every tri-weekly is InterPlay. And they're all, except for New Moon, is at Sylvester Powell Community Center. And so Tuesday is InterPlay at 6:30 at Sylvester Powell.
Okay. Awesome.
Well, thank you for playing me.
Thank you.
You again, too. Many blessings. Thank you so much.